George Elmer Pataki is an American lawyer and politician who served as the 53rd Governor of New York. A member of the Republican Party, Pataki was a lawyer who was elected mayor of his hometown of Peekskill, later going on to be elected to State Assembly, then State Senate. In 1994, Pataki ran for governor against three-term incumbent Mario Cuomo, defeating him by over a 3-point margin as part of the Republican Revolution of 1994. Pataki, succeeding a three-term governor, would himself be elected to 3 consecutive terms, and was the third Republican governor of New York elected since 1923, the other two being Thomas Dewey and Nelson Rockefeller. Pataki, as of July 2016, is the last Republican to serve as governor of New York. In early 2015, Pataki began exploring a candidacy for the Republican nomination for President of the United States in 2016, and announced his candidacy on May 28, 2015. On December 29, 2015, Pataki withdrew his presidential candidacy. Early life. Pataki was born in Peekskill, New York. Pataki's paternal grandfather was Janos Pataki of Aranyosaparty, Austria-Hungary, who came to the United States in 1908 and worked in a hat factory. Janos had married Ertzi Sabe, also Hungarian-born, around 1904. The son, Pataki's father, was Louis P. Pataki, a mailman and volunteer fire chief who ran the Pataki farm. Pataki's maternal grandfather was Matteo Lagana, who married Agnes Lynch of County Louth, Ireland around 1914. Their daughter, Margaret Lagana, is Pataki's mother. Pataki has an older brother, Louis. George Pataki can still speak a little Hungarian today, as well as Spanish, French, and German. After graduating from Peekskill High School, Pataki entered Yale University with George W. Bush in 1964 on an academic scholarship, and graduated in 3 years. While the Pataki served as chairman of the Conservative Party of the Yale Political Union, Pataki participated in debates. He received his J.D. from Columbia Law School in 1970. Early political career. While practicing law at Plunkett and Jaffe, P.C. in Peekskill, Pataki became friends with Michael C. Finnegan, who would go on to be the architect of Pataki's ascendancy to power. Finnegan would go on to manage Pataki's campaigns for mayor, state assembly, state senate, and the governorship. Finnegan was then appointed chief counsel to the governor in 1995, and played the key role in developing and negotiating nearly all of Pataki's early legislative success. Mayor of Peekskill. George Pataki first won elected office in November 1981. Pataki was elected mayor of the city of Peekskill, which is located in the northwestern part of Westchester County. Pataki defeated the Democratic incumbent Fred Bianco Jr., winning 70% of the vote. In November 1983, Pataki was re-elected mayor, winning 74% of the vote. New York State Assembly. In November 1984, George Pataki was elected to the New York State Assembly by defeating the one-term Democratic incumbent William J. Ryan, winning 53% of the vote. In November 1986, Pataki defeated Ryan in a rematch, capturing 63% of the vote. Pataki won a third term in November 1988, winning 74% of the vote against Democratic candidate Mark Zinner. Pataki won a fourth and final term in November 1990, winning over 90% of the vote, as he only faced a minor party candidate. He was an assemblyman in the 186th, 187th, 188th and 189th New York State legislatures. New York State Senate. From 1983 to 1992, the 91st Assembly District included parts of Westchester, Orange, Rockland, and Putnam counties. However, in 1992, Assembly Democrats substantially redrew the district boundaries, placing the newly renamed 90th Assembly District entirely within Westchester County. Instead of running in the newly redrawn district, Pataki decided to challenge seven-term incumbent Republican State Senator Mary B. Goodhue in the Republican primary by criticizing her for taking her children to Disney World and missing a vote in Albany. Pataki won the primary by a 52% to 48% margin. However, Goodhue was still going to appear on the November ballot on a minor party line. In November 1992, George Pataki won election to the New York State Senate in a four-way race. Pataki served in the Senate of the 190th New York State Legislature, and ran for governor at the next election. Gubernatorial campaigns. 1994 campaign. Pataki was a first-term state senator from Westchester County when he launched his bid for the Republican nomination for governor in 1994. He said he launched the campaign because of his frustration in the Senate regarding how Albany worked and on tax issues. He was little known statewide, and his campaign received a boost when he was endorsed by U.S. Sen. Al D'Amato. He received the party's endorsement at the spring state convention and easily defeated former state Republican chairman Richard Rosenbaum in the September primary. Pataki was considered an underdog from the start since he was running against three-term Gov. Mario Cuomo, and because Pataki had little name recognition statewide. D'Amato reportedly backed Pataki because of a poll that showed a pro-choice, fiscal conservative from the New York City suburbs could win statewide for governor. The poll also showed a female running mate for lieutenant governor would help the ticket, thus leading to the selection of academic Patsy McCoy as Pataki's running mate. The polls had Governor Cuomo up by as much as 10 points going into the final 2 weeks, but they then narrowed at the end. He made an issue of Cuomo seeking a fourth term as governor and pledged to serve only 2 terms into office. Cuomo was helped late in the race by the endorsement of New York City Mayor Rudy Giuliani. In the end, Pataki narrowly defeated Cuomo in the general election. Many, including George Pataki himself, believe Howard Stern's endorsement of Pataki was a major reason for his win. As a result, Stern was present at the podium with Pataki during his inauguration. Pataki made up for a softer performance in New York City by running up a decisive margin outside of it, especially among upstaters disenchanted with Cuomo. Pataki won all but one county outside the 5 boroughs. Pataki was the first governor elected since Franklin D. Roosevelt to not come from one of the 5 boroughs of New York City. 1998 campaign. Pataki was considered the frontrunner from the start of the 1998 campaign for governor. He was unopposed for the Republican nomination and paired with a new running mate, Judge Mary Donohue. The Democrats faced a primary battle between New York City Council Speaker Peter Vallone, LT, Gov. Betsy McCoy Ross, and former Transportation Commissioner James LaRocca. Vallone captured the Democratic nomination, with Thomas Golisano running as the Independent nominee and McCoy Ross as the Liberal Party nominee. Pataki was easily re-elected to a second term into office. 2002 campaign. Pataki was considered a strong contender for a third term. He ran again on a ticket with LT, Gov. Mary Donohue, and the Democrats faced a primary battle between State Controller Carl McCall and former HUD Secretary Andrew Cuomo. Pataki emphasized his previous work and the need to have continuity following Sept. 11. Pataki sought the nomination of the Independence Party of New York in his bid for a third term as well. He faced Thomas Golisano, the party's founder, in his bid for the nomination. Pataki ran an active primary campaign and lost to Golisano. Donahue did win the primary for lieutenant governor and was both the running mate of Pataki and Golisano in the general election. Pataki faced McCall and Golisano in the general election, during which he continued to emphasize his past work for the state. He easily defeated the two. A Pataki-Cuomo rematch nearly occurred in the 2002 election. Mario's son Andrew Cuomo announced plans to run. However, he stumbled on April 17 when Cuomo was quoted in the media as saying, regarding Pataki's performance post-9/11, Pataki stood behind the leader. He held the leader's coat. He was a great assistant to the leader, but he was not a leader. Cream rises to the top, and Rudy Giuliani rose to the top. Quote, after becoming governor of New York, he received an honorary degree from New York Institute of Technology at the 2002 NYIT commencement.